Hey folks, Adam here from Elite Demonstrations. We're going to be showing off, count them, 10 of my custom action figures. These are LJN sized figures. Many of them are custom, and we're going to be covering them in great detail here in a moment. I guess we'll start off with this. This is Woman, aka Nancy Sullivan, Nancy Benoit, and it is done and created by Sin Bodhi, former WWE wrestler Kazarni. Now, the good thing about this thing is it's ultra realistic, and it's one of the rare women figures that I have. I have this and a Miss Elizabeth. You can see, I'm going to hold Miss Elizabeth next to it. So you can see the size comparison. They're very similar in size. And it's interesting, but people seem to, well, that could be an interesting thumbnail. People seem to like Miss Elizabeth. We put them in a competition like on our Instagram page, and people said that Miss Elizabeth is their favorite figure of the two. But I gotta say that Woman is a great figure as well. She was Kevin Sullivan's wife. So that's our first one. We're talking about Woman. Bad news about it is you kind of have to lean her against something because she does fall over easily. And she's had a couple issues with breakage, so we're just going to set her down. Same thing with Miss Elizabeth. This one doesn't sit up very well. Okay, so second, I'm going to give you a peek at our recent figure, aka this is the Yeti. So what did we do here? We actually took a John Studd. Took a John Studd figure. And Yeti, for those of you who remember, came out WCW's Halloween Havoc at the end with the Dungeon of Doom attacked Hulk Hogan. You can see kind of the same figure shape as this. What we did was we wrapped him in some gauze. We took some yellow and black paint and just dry brushed it on to give him a look. Now, he was called the Yeti, but he looked like a dirty mummy. No one ever explained why, but that's what we did. Now, the figure that I had of John Studd, unfortunately, mildew had grown into the rubber, so it was kind of, you couldn't do anything with it when they get that mildew in the rubber. So instead of repairing him, I went ahead, added clay to make his legs longer, as you can tell, made him balance a little better, and then wrapped him up in some bandages, basically, painted him to look like the Yeti. Does anyone else remember the Yeti? I think I'm the only one, right? Okay, so that's our second figure we're talking about, is the Yeti. Next up, Demolition Crush. Now, WWE, they never released a Smash. They never released a Crush. So I took an axe that somebody had given me, a fan of the channel had given me. Had to repaint him because he was pretty much without paint. And then I painted his face to match Crush. If you look closely, I added hair. He's got more of a mullet. I could probably touch that up again. Looks like the paint's starting to crack and dry a little bit over time. It's been a while. Should I go with black or brown hair when I touch him up? And for all intents and purposes, I think this is a little bit more like a Crush. I added to his boots, just gave him a little lift to where he's a little taller than the other members of Demolition as well. That's number 3. Let's go to 4 and actually go to Demolition Axe. You can see they are built from the same figure. Axe is a little shorter. Axe has different hair because I added the hair with clay. And doot. You can see I kind of adjusted the paint on the face to make it look a little bit more like the style that Crush had. But same facial expression, you can tell it's based in the same figure, etc. So that would be number 4, Demolition Axe. And everyone that I'm showing you today is to some degree a custom figure. And I think that's pretty cool. All right, next, why don't we show you the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. Now this is actually done by XO, Etsy, etc. This is number 5. I like that she included that weird spot that Dusty had on his stomach. I would have colored it a little less bright. But she does great work. I love her work on the eyes here. If you look closely into those eyes, look at those beautiful Dusty Rhodes eyes. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it to focus. But she actually kept the white in the eyes. like a white dot in there, the blue, the black, and then the black line above the eye. That is really great eye work that she did on Silver Dust. So Dusty Rhodes really looking fantastic there. I think she did a great job. I would have liked to see, like if I was to 3D print a Dusty Rhodes, how I would do it differently is I would do the polka dots, because I really like the polka dots. I thought that wasn't so bad. I like the polka dots Dusty from WWF more than the Dusty Rhodes of WCW NWA. So that's number 5 from our collection. And folks, like, I just enjoy making these. Number 6, because you guys love him. The bad guy, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. We do an Instagram post where we let people vote for matches, who wins, who loses. And currently, Big Scott Hall is our, move her out of the way, is our Intercontinental Champion. People have voted him by beating, I think, Bret Hart in a ladder match. I tried a little bit of a new technique with dry brushing. You dry the brush and then you wipe it a little bit to give him a stubble look. Not perfect, but not bad. I think I need to go back. My girlfriend says I need to go back and recolor his lips a little bit. They look a little gray, and I see that now that she points that out. So I'll touch that up eventually. I think the color on him is pretty good. Kind of hard to tell under different lights. But I didn't want to make him as pink as some of the wrestlers. I want to give him more of a Latin tan, because what Scott Hall did have a pretty good looking Latin tan at some points in his career. So I actually had Kevin Pelkey print me a Razor Ramon figure. He removed where it said Razor Ramon on the shorts, and then I painted him NWO styling. And underneath the belt, we're going to show you, I did create a decal on my printer. That was actually just a HP printer print with a little glue on the sticker on the photo paper. And then I put it onto his shorts, and I think that looks really cool. All right, so I think that's number 6. I will lose track, but oh well. Next is one that I'm currently working on. I got a little bit of work to do on this today. We got a new flag coming for the British Bulldog, and I'm going to work on Tom Billington Dynamite Kid next. Maybe add some details to the pants, and I've got like a flag coming that I'm going to use as his more permanent cape. This was a LJN figure that I added clay to make him a little more muscular, and I added clay to give him long hair to make him more British Bulldog of later years, and I printed the word Bulldog just to give it a little detail. Painting he has kind of maroon red pants in the LJN figures, and I thought I would make him look more like I remember the Bulldog from the 90s, like 91, 92, I would estimate. And I think he looks pretty good there. So I think that's number 7. Losing track real quickly here. And so we'll go from number 7 to Boris Zukov, right? Boris, not the most popular wrestler. He was a jobber for some of his time in WWE. Before WWE got real popular as part of the Bolsheviks, he had a good run in various promotions outside of WWE, WWF. But this is a rare figure, 3D printed by Kevin Pelkey. I have a hard time matching the reds perfectly, but I think this went really well. And I kind of made a Russian group of Nikita Koloff, Boris Zukov, Nikolai Volkov, all that match. And I'd like to do an Ivan Koloff next to make kind of a Survivor Series. I've always liked the getting groups of 4. So that is next on my list. Is that 7 or 8? Boy, you guys can tell me in the comments. We'll just assume that's 8 now. Wow. Okay, so number 9, if you haven't seen this one before, this is complete 3D print as well. The Natural Butch Reed. The coloration on here, I had to custom do the color. A little bit of mustard yellow with some chocolate brown to kind of give him an exact color. Put the natural on his headband. Gave him the blonde hair version of Natural Butch Reed, not the Doom version. Wrote the BR by hand. I think the lacing on the boots sets him off a little bit. And the sunglasses, I think that really separates him. Used a darker gray for his mouth just to separate those colors a little bit. And I think that turns out nicely. And the vest I went with a bright canary yellow. I think he looks cool. And a lot of people don't remember the Butch Reed. And when we rate him on Instagram at 911 Wrestling, people don't always love him as much. But in terms of how he looks, I think he looks cool as can be. He's a cool looking cat for sure. So that's number 9. And then we're going to go from there. Which one should we do next? Let's do 10, the Warlord, right? Warlord, part of our Powers of Pain group. Look at that. How cool is that guy, right? Just a beast. The Warlord action figure from LJN was really hard to get. It's that black card series. So that's a 3D print. And then I went and painted it. Got the custom vest for him. So this is all from resin. This is resin. And yeah, this was a little bit earlier. The face paint I could touch up still. I can see that like it's not the perfect face paint. Sometimes you see these and you're like, oh, I could have done better on that. I need to go ahead and put the word Warlord and Powers of Pain on the side of his pants. But otherwise, I think he looks really cool and intimidating. I wish he was about a ½ inch taller, because Warlord in real life is a really big guy, like 6'6", 6'7", and I don't think this figure quite does him justice for his overall size compared to some of the other figures. So anyway, folks, there's 10 cool wrestling figures. If you like this, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. If you don't like it, go click the thumbs down button. There's a lot more figures. I've got probably over 100 of them, and there's a lot more to talk about, so go ahead and click that subscribe button. It's a lot of fun for me, and I just do this as a relaxing habit. I need to tighten his belt on him. I've fallen off. All right, folks, go check it out. Goodbye, my friends.